Part 1, Intro Unveiling the Power of Language. Unveiling the power of language. It's the lifeblood of human communication. It's how we connect and understand each other. Have you considered the power within our words? Linguistic criticism encourages us to see language. It delves into hidden meanings and structures. Language shapes our perception of the world. Beyond words, delving into linguistic criticism. Linguistic criticism, at its core, is the art of analyzing language to uncover its deeper implications. It's about asking questions like, what are the subtle ways language can be used to persuade, manipulate, or even oppress? How do different social groups use language to construct their identities? What can the evolution of language tell us about the evolution of human thought? It's a field that draws on a rich tapestry of disciplines, linguistics, of course, but also literature, philosophy, sociology, and even psychology. By applying the tools of linguistic analysis, we can gain a deeper understanding of everything from political speeches to advertising slogans, from classic literature to everyday conversations. A new lens, seeing the world through language. Linguistic criticism makes the invisible visible. It shapes our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It empowers us to be critical consumers of information. This exploration will be your guide. Join us on this journey into the heart of language. Part 2, Act 1, The Pioneers of Meaning. The Pioneers of Meaning. Before we can truly appreciate the power of linguistic criticism, we must first understand its roots. The journey begins in the early 20th century, a time of great intellectual ferment when thinkers across various disciplines were challenging old assumptions and forging new paths. It was during this period that the seeds of linguistic criticism were sown. This era marked a turning point in how we view language. No longer seen as a transparent tool for reflecting reality, language began to be understood as a powerful force shaping our very perception of the world. This shift in perspective was driven by a group of pioneering thinkers who laid the foundation for what we now call linguistic criticism. Decoding the system, Saussure and structuralism. Ferdinand de Saussure, a Swiss linguist, revolutionized linguistics. He proposed that language is a system of signs, with each sign having a signifier and a signified. Like a traffic light, red means stop. This relationship is arbitrary, a convention. This idea laid the foundation for structuralism. Three, Chomsky's revolution, language as a mirror to the mind. Across the Atlantic, another revolution in linguistic thought was brewing. Noam Chomsky, an American linguist and political activist, challenged the prevailing behaviorist view of language, which saw it primarily as a learned behavior. Chomsky argued that humans have an innate capacity for language, a kind of universal grammar hardwired into our brains. He proposed that this innate ability allows us to generate an infinite number of sentences, even ones we've never heard before. Chomsky's work revolutionized the field of linguistics and had far-reaching implications for our understanding of the human mind. His ideas about the deep structures of language opened up new avenues for exploring how we think, learn, and even create. 4. The birth of a new criticism. Saussure and Chomsky's ideas provided the foundation for linguistic criticism. Scholars applied these concepts to literature, media, and culture. This marked a shift from interpreting texts to dissecting language. We'll explore this insightful approach further. Part 3, Act 2, Beyond the Surface Language as a Cultural Artifact. Language as a cultural artifact. Language is a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of culture, history, and social dynamics. Linguistic critics reveal cultural values, beliefs, and assumptions embedded within language. Different languages categorize the world uniquely. The Inuit have numerous words for snow, reflecting its importance. Asian languages' rich vocabulary for family shows kinship significance. The power of words, language, ideology, and social control. Language is not a neutral medium, it's a powerful tool that can be used to shape perceptions, influence opinions, and even maintain social control. Linguistic criticism helps us to recognize how language can be wielded to promote specific ideologies, reinforce power structures, and perpetuate systems of oppression. Think about the loaded language often used in political discourse. Terms like freedom fighter versus terrorist or tax relief versus cuts to social programs evoke vastly different emotional responses and frame the issues in a particular light, often serving to advance a specific political agenda. Linguistic criticism helps us to see through such rhetorical strategies and to critically evaluate the underlying messages being conveyed. Unmasking bias. Deconstructing hidden agendas. Language can often be used to perpetuate unconscious bias and discrimination, even when unintentional. Linguistic criticism provides us with the tools to identify and deconstruct these hidden agendas, exposing how language can subtly reinforce stereotypes, marginalize certain groups, and maintain existing power imbalances. One example is the pervasive use of masculine terms to refer to professions or roles traditionally held by men. Phrases like fireman, policeman, or chairman implicitly exclude women and perpetuate the notion that these fields are inherently masculine. Linguistic criticism encourages us to question these linguistic norms and to adopt more inclusive language that reflects the diversity of human experience. From the ivory tower to the streets, linguistic criticism in action. Linguistic criticism has real-world relevance and can be applied to many fields. It empowers us to become discerning consumers of information and effective communicators. It provides tools to challenge dominant narratives and advocate for social justice. Part 4, Act 3, the Linguistic Toolkit, Unpacking the Methods. The Linguistic Toolkit, Unpacking the Methods. Linguistic criticism, like any good detective's toolkit, relies on a range of methods and techniques to unlock the secrets hidden within language. These aren't tools of deception, but rather instruments of revelation, helping us to see the familiar with fresh eyes and to understand the subtle ways in which language operates. One fundamental approach involves analyzing the lexicon, the building blocks of any language. By scrutinizing word choices, the use of specific verbs, adjectives, or metaphors, we can gain valuable insights into the author's or speaker's intentions, biases, and worldview. A fiery political speech might be replete with emotionally charged words like freedom, justice, and tyranny, designed to stir the passions of the audience. Unveiling the subtext, grammar as a window into meaning. Grammar goes beyond individual words. It governs how words form meaningful sentences. Clauses, voice, and nominalizations shape text meaning. Passive voice can downplay agency and responsibility. Nominalizations create objectivity, obscuring human actions. Discourse analysis. Beyond the sentence. Linguistic criticism doesn't stop at the level of individual words or sentences. It recognizes that language operates within larger contexts, conversations, speeches, articles, books that contribute to its overall meaning. Discourse analysis takes this broader view, examining how language functions within these larger units of communication. This involves looking at things like turn-taking in conversations, the use of pronouns to establish relationships between speakers and their audiences, and the ways in which topics are introduced, developed, and concluded. By analyzing these patterns of interaction, we can gain insights into power dynamics, social norms, and the strategies people use to achieve their communicative goals. critical discourse analysis, power, language, and ideology. Building on the foundations of discourse analysis, critical discourse analysis, CDA, takes a more explicitly political stance. CDA recognizes that language is not merely a tool for communication, but a site of social struggle, where power relations are enacted, contested, and reinforced. CDA practitioners are interested in uncovering how language can be used to legitimize inequality, maintain social hierarchies, and silence dissenting voices. They examine how dominant ideologies are embedded in language and how these ideologies serve to maintain the status quo. CDA provides a powerful lens for understanding how language can be both a tool of oppression and a catalyst for social change. Part 5, Act 4, Linguistic Criticism in Action Case Studies from the Real World. Linguistic criticism in action case studies from the real world. Linguistic criticism illuminates real-world issues. It unveils hidden agendas and exposes biases. From media to advertisements, it interprets our world. Consider a politician using we to create collective responsibility. Two, the language of power and prejudice, unmasking inequality. Linguistic analysis reveals power, prejudice, and social justice issues. Language can perpetuate harmful stereotypes. Passive voice in violence reports obscures responsibility. Dehumanizing metaphors impact public perception. Linguistic criticism challenges subtle prejudices. Exposing biases in language fosters a just society. Deconstructing the headline's media bias under the microscope. The media plays a powerful role in shaping public opinion, and linguistic criticism provides a valuable tool for dissecting media bias. By analyzing the language used in news reports, opinion pieces, and even social media posts, we can gain a deeper understanding of how information is framed, how narratives are constructed, and how audiences are manipulated. Consider the choice of verbs used to describe the actions of protesters versus those of law enforcement. Are protesters clashing with police or peacefully demonstrating? Are police maintaining order or using excessive force? These seemingly small linguistic choices can have a significant impact on how audiences perceive events. Advertising's siren song, persuasion, and the art of linguistic manipulation. Advertising is the most ubiquitous form of persuasion in modern society. We are constantly bombarded with messages designed to influence our decisions. Linguistic criticism helps us understand how advertising language works. Advertisers craft messages to evoke emotions and drive sales. Conclusion: the enduring power of linguistic criticism. The enduring power of linguistic criticism. Language is far more than a mere tool for communication. It's the fabric of our social reality, shaping thoughts and actions. Linguistic criticism unravels this intricate tapestry, exposing its beauty and potential for manipulation. Like a musician discerning a symphony, a linguistic critic unveils hidden melodies within language. By analyzing word choices and discourse patterns, we appreciate the artistry of language. Linguistic criticism empowers us to be critical consumers of information, aware of language's persuasive power. It helps us navigate political rhetoric and advertising, making informed decisions and challenging narratives. Understanding language's power fosters empathy and builds a more just world.